very much. You realize this is our largest group ever as a school graduating class of 2025. Round of applause, please.
Good afternoon. Let's believe and pray. Our Father in heaven, I come before you this lovely afternoon, full of gratitude and joy. I thank you for this gathering that is made up of our directors, our parents, invited guests, teachers, and the graduating class of 2025. We are grateful for your guidance and love as we share in this important work. Thank you for guiding these graduates through the years of learning, growth, and perseverance. Thank you for the friendship that they have formed, believing that this will flourish beyond today. As they stand here in readiness for new beginnings, we ask for your continued presence in their lives. Bless this ceremony with your peace and purpose. May every word spoken and every memory shared reflect the journey that brought us here and the bright future ahead. Grant these graduates wisdom in their decisions, courage in their challenges, and compassion in their actions. Please help them to use all they have learned in this school to make the world a better place. We give thanks for the educators, the families, and the mentors whose dedication and sacrifice have shaped their lives. May their efforts be richly blessed. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
And for the many things that he has done in our children's life, we would like to reflect on that and see what actually they've done, some of the experiences that they've put together. So it's time for us to see, to have a moment of reflection, and we interestingly fitting within our VB for this half of time, which is reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to have a view of what your children have been up to, at least in their journey in St. Christopher's. Indeed, beautiful memories created over time, and there's more, and you'll definitely get to hear about them in a moment of reflection as articulated by our pupils who are in leadership roles. But before that, please may I invite the Executive Headmaster, Mr. Joshua Gibbons, after which you'll get a moment to hear from the pupils, the head girl, the head boy, head of school, as well as Mrs. Kariuki, our Senior Deputy Head. Mr. Gibbons, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Parents, guests, grandparents. Good afternoon, members of the Board of Directors at St. Christopher's, represented by our Chair, Reverend Leah Ngini and Sean O'Haga. Welcome to all the SEIS teachers, especially my senior leadership team and my senior management team. Is there anyone that I have forgotten? Everyone feels welcome? Of course, my warmest welcome goes to our graduating class of 2025. I would like to begin my remarks by thanking the Year 13s, or graduating class, just for peeling back the curtain a little bit and giving us a glimpse into some of the things that have gone into their story that have led them to here today. I really love following those clips at the graduation ceremony because it really sets the tone for a ceremony as significant as this, because it gives us the right amount of nostalgia, which is an important feeling that we should all be feeling as we go through this monumental occasion of which it is. I also feel incredibly privileged to be able to address this group. I love graduations. I can remember my graduation vividly, and there's many reasons why I love graduation so much. There's a lot of tradition, there's a lot of symbolism that goes into this, a lot of rich history. But above all else, what I really enjoy when I think about this day and everyone in this room is that each and every one of our graduating class here today, all 30 of them, have a unique story that has led them to be in this room on this day, graduating from this school. And when you start to think about all of those unique experiences and those unique stories, and appreciating that somehow they've all come together today, it really is a very special event. Those stories are driven by unique backgrounds, unique family situations, and of course your own dreams, your hopes and your aspirations. But there is one thing that they all have in common, that today is very special to them, and it's very special to everyone else in this room that shares this with them. And what you have achieved is incredibly special because of that. So please bear that in mind as we go through this afternoon, both your unique stories, or your unique backstories, and also what you share in common together at this ceremony. Now, for some of our graduating class, they capture that, they grasp the significance of today really quickly. And so they can absorb and really enjoy today. But for some others, it may be a couple of years, it could be a few decades when they reflect back with that same sense of nostalgia that I was talking about, and then it will really hit them just how special today is, or today was. But the good thing is, that's why we film it, okay? So that you will always have this bit of history to look back on whenever you feel the urge. So with all of that in mind, it becomes clear to me that we're not just here to celebrate your child's educational journey or their educational story. It's much, much more than that. I feel that your children are standing on the edge of something that is truly exhilarating. And I refer to that as the beginning of flight. Now, your children will know that each year I choose a theme for all of our end-of-year ceremonies. So beginning with the Year 13, then our Year 6 graduation, our kindergarten, our leavers, and then our speech day. And I choose a theme that I feel fits the entire school and what we've achieved together through the course of that year. But a large proportion of that is down to the graduating class and just watching them and seeing how they interact together and also with the rest of the school. So the theme this year at times saw just watching this particular class throughout the year and certainly in the last 48 hours as they prepared for today, I feel that it is a very apt, a very appropriate theme for what we are celebrating today, particularly when we start to look at the wings that your children have grown in their time at SCIS, and the immense pride that makes everyone in this room feel. However, before I take off to the skies with metaphor and possibility, allow me to start with a story. I think everyone is starting to realize how much I love stories. I have a prop for my story, which is our cookbook. I'm going to come back to that in a second. But there is a lovely photo on the front of that which is framing this story that I want to share with everyone here. The Year 13s know this well. So it was only a few weeks ago, just before you all disappeared on study leave, full of wit, full of wisdom, and an alarming amount of caffeine. And you pulled off a surprise on me, which I find incredibly difficult to do. I like to know everything that is going on. And so when I am caught off guard, it is not something that I forget very easily. But this particular surprise left me completely and utterly breathless. There I was, delivering what I'm sure was a remarkably profound and sensible farewell speech to the graduating class. And then they presented me with something very different. Food. I was not expecting this. It wasn't just any food. I said I was going to go back to my prop here. At the bottom left-hand corner of our cookbook, there's a photo of our Year 13 class, and it shows the dishes and the mocktails that they lovingly prepared as part of their contribution to this 40-year celebration cookbook. But obviously more than that, it was also their very own special way of saying thank you and of saying goodbye. Now, in a professional setting, one tries to maintain composure at all times. But as you will recall, all it took was a single bite, and I was left speechless. Mid-sentence, in fact. It doesn't happen very often. I stopped and said something terribly intellectual. Followed shortly after by a very heartfelt, ah. And dear graduates, this is where my speech really begins. So forgive me for parking our theme of time to soar and taking a different flight into the world of and ah moments. Because life, as I've come to realize, is made up of moments. The ones that take your breath away. The ones that make you stop mid-sentence, mid-scroll, or mid-plan, just to savor. And then there are also the ah moments, the quiet revelations, the clarity, the understanding that settles your soul after a moment of chaos. I'm not saying your food was chaos. I'm saying the situation was chaos. Your food was delicious. So as you prepare to soar into universities, apprenticeships, travels, dreams, and detours, I'm sure, I hope you seek out both. Look for the moments, the laughter that comes so suddenly it makes your side hurt, the stranger who becomes your closest friend over a shared single night of stories. Or it could be the sunset in a city you've never visited before. When that moment of clarity comes, that you realize you've never quite seen a sky like that. And when you find them, pause. Let yourself taste them fully, like that meal that you made for me. Rich with meaning, seasoned with love, and let those moments remind you of why it's good to be alive. But don't be afraid of the ah moments either. the heartbreak that teaches you how to rebuild, the failure that becomes your teacher, the silence when an answer is finally revealed. But these are the flavors of growth, not always sweet, sometimes rather quite bitter, but they're always essential. So here at SCIS, I hope we've not just taught you the curriculum. I hope we have helped you understand the menu of life. We have served up maths and science, English and drama, world religions, music, French, history, geography, and physical education. A banquet of knowledge. We've also done this alongside the values that set this school apart: integrity, community, compassion, and excellence. But your greatest lessons, I'm sure, came outside the classroom. During a school play that went wrong, or coursework that kept you up all night, or a mocktail prepared with too much lime, causing it to curdle. You know who you are. As you take off now, and as you soar, remember that the world is full of cuisines you have not yet tasted, cultures you've not yet understood, and people you have not yet loved. Approach it all with the hunger and the discovery and willingness to be surprised. So here's my final request. Chase the moments. Learn from the moments. And never stop adding to the recipe book of life. And if you feel yourself a little lost, remember that we're still here, and you're always welcome to come in, say hello, perhaps have a cup of tea, and we'll be there saying welcome home. Fly high, year 13. The world is waiting. Semper Excelsius. Thank you. Now it is at this moment I would usually be inviting Mrs. Ohaga from the Board of Directors to come and address the graduating class. There will be a different person coming up, but I wanted to explain the reason behind that. So Mrs. Ohaga is representing St. Christopher's International School at the Biblical Entrepreneurship competition at the national level. And that is happening right now. This comes after the SCIS business plan successfully won the same competition at the local level several months ago. I'm sure you will join us all in wishing her and SCIS success today. Thank you.
Please could I invite our head girl, Jessica, for your remarks of pupils from student leadership.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to our graduation. Now I'll start. It took 655 days to get here. 655 mornings of raising the bell. 655 nights of cramming, crying, and occasionally thriving. 655 chances to become someone braver, kinder, and a little more ourselves. And somehow, we made it. I remember my interview day so clearly, mostly because I didn't see it coming. I was at home doing absolutely nothing productive when my dad casually said, "Get ready, you have an interview." No build-up, no prep, just vibes and panic. So I put on my best I'm serious about my future outfit, and off we went. At the school, we were greeted warmly, and sitting nearby was a tall, pretty girl who would later become one of my dearest friends, Moti. At the time, I thought, wow, she seems like she already knows where she's going. Little did I know, neither of us had a clue, but we'd figure it out together. Miss Duya gave us the grand tour and had a chat with my dad, then took me to the computer lab to take the CAT4 exam. I must confess, I answered those questions and selected those shapes with the confidence of someone clicking, I agreed to the terms and conditions that they didn't read. And somehow, I still got in. First day of school, I was late. So I slipped quietly in the back of the lecture theater, and I sat next to Aliyah, who turned and said hi with a kindness I'll never forget. That small moment calmed every storm in me, and that's when I knew I was home. In those early days, we were told to apply for leadership positions, and I thought, already, but I went for it. I wrote my prefect application on the back of the bus with Samuel, the road shaking us like popcorn in a microwave, and somehow we got the position. What we didn't realize then is that we were entering a place that would change us forever. I never could have imagined becoming sisters with some of the most incredible girls, namely Ashley A, Ashley M, and Melody. What a gift it's been to walk alongside you, to laugh, cry, pray, and dream together. And honestly, everyone here is special. I've never met a more ridiculously talented year group. We've got hockey queens, football stars, basketball beasts, and swimming champions, and none of them are to be trifled with. We have artists whose work could be displayed in galleries, musicians who could one day make records, entertainers who belong on wild stages, and future doctors who will one day save lives. I look at all of you and I'm in awe. We didn't just go to school together, we lived through moments that bond us. Like Sagana, which felt more like a survival course than a school trip. We lagged boats like exhausted gladiators, did manual labor just to earn our campsite, and somehow we still managed to laugh, love, and stay united through every single mosquito bite and soaked shoe. And this year's trip, a pinnacle. We grew closer than ever. We sat around campfires like a Netflix coming-of-age film, stayed up at ungodly hours to catch a glimpse of Mount Kilimanjaro, and showed up for each other with an unspoken kind of loyalty. I hope that when we reunite years from now, we still carry this love. Still laugh like we did in assembly, still root for each other like we did before exams, still hug like we made it through something rare, because we did. Class of 2025, you're special in all the best ways. This moment is bittersweet. I'm thrilled we made it, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished, but I'll miss you all, dearly, truly, entirely. As I stand here today, I feel like an inordinately lucky person because I got to meet you. To our mentors, thank you for keeping us sane when sanity was hanging by a thread. You carried us through. Your kindness, patience, and sheer willpower deserve knighthood. And a very special shout out to Mr. Rogers, my mentor. Every morning, his belief in us was fuel. His words reminded me why I came to school, why I worked hard, why I pushed through. Thank you for standing by us when we didn't always believe in ourselves. To our teachers, we love you. Thank you for nurturing us, scolding us with love, challenging us, and holding space for our dreams. To our parents and guardians, thank you for praying us through late nights, feeding us through study stress, and loving us through every high and low. To my classmates, you have given me stories I will carry into every room I walk into. And now we stand at the edge of something new, the end and the beginning. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know I'll carry a piece of you all wherever I go. And to God, our true anchor, as Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. We couldn't have made it here without his grace, and we won't make it forward without it either. So here's to the future, full of promise, uncertainty, and purpose. Let's walk boldly, let's stay soft, let's love harder, let's shine brighter. Because the world is not ready for the class of 2025, but we're ready for it. Thank you for everything, SCIS.
Good afternoon, school. Wow. Can I start off by saying, kind of rude that I wasn't introduced, so I'll introduce myself. So, my name's Keenan, or Rayimba, depending on what you like, but I am your head boy, or the class of 2025. Friends, teachers, and fellow graduating students, we're finally done. After counting down the years, after marking down the months, after noting the days, dreading through the hours, and timing the seconds, we are done with high school once and for all. A big chapter of all our lives is finally coming to an end. But where one starts, another one begins. I'm standing here in front of you all as the class of 2025's head boy, but I'm speaking to you as a student, a friend, a family member, and a son. From my first day as prefect in year 6 to the last day as head boy in high school, I have always strived to be the best leader I can be. Participating in any events I can, interacting with anyone and everyone around me, I'm always trying to make somebody feel like they're always home. I hope my mark in this school stays for decades to come, no matter how unrealistic that sounds. A big part of my motivation is my family. You sons of Ochino, you become great leaders, is what my aunt told me the first time I became house captain in year 6. But year 13 was different. She turned it to, your father will be very proud of the man you become, Uching. That's the time I knew this had to be the best leadership role I had to do. To the students who remain, never underestimate the incredible power you guys have. You have the power to grow, power to shape your future, power to shape your journey. Each day is a new chance to try again, to move a little bit closer to the person you're meant to be. Work hard even when no one's watching. Be kind, especially when it's not easy, and take pride in every step you take, no matter how small it may seem, because progress is progress. Leadership isn't about titles or badges. It's about integrity. It's about courage and the progress you make towards it. And always remember, you guys belong here. You guys matter. That is the SCIS people that I believe we have signed for. And that is the SCIS people we have, a global citizen. To our teachers, words will never be enough to express the depth of our gratitude. You have been more than educators. You have been mentors, role models, and on many days, the quiet strength behind our successes. You saw potential in us when we couldn't see it in ourselves. You challenged us when it got too comfortable, encouraged us when it felt like giving up, and stood by us through every stumble and triumph. To my friends, my class of 2025, my dear loyal class of 2025, what you've shared over these past few years, weeks or months, is something words can hardly capture. The laughter in the hallways, the late night study sessions, the quiet support through tough times, and the joy in our victories, might I add the physics papers. They are pieces of who we're becoming, not just memories, and I want you to take that through your universities. What we've done together, how we've grown, stumbled, and risen, will never be forgotten. These are the moments that will echo in our hearts long after you leave this place. They will inspire us when life gets uncertain, and will remind us of our strength when we need it most. Though we may walk different paths, from here, know this. You've each left a mark in my life. No matter where the future takes us, we'll always be bound by the memories we've built and the friendships that we forged in this chapter of our lives. As we finally close the book of high school, I want to tell you to be who you want to be, no matter what anyone says or does. Do not change for anyone. As long as you're happy, striving, nothing else matters. The model SEIS students for life. Be the Goldwood citizen. Love you all. God bless.
Since it seems like Jessica's the only one getting an introduction, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Samuel Lupalo, 2024-2025 head of school. Distinguished guests, faculty and staff, proud families, juniors that we're leaving behind, and most importantly, members of graduating class 2025. Welcome. 9 years of lapse, 9 years of exam stress, 9 good years of my life. For the better part of a decade, St. Christopher's has played an irreplaceable role in my story. It's been a constant in my life for 9 months of the year every year. I've done more than learn and study in these halls. I've grown up here. This place has shaped and molded the person standing before you today. The school itself has also changed over the years, growing together with me. There were tough days, for sure, but seeing those days from the end of my journey, they don't seem so bad. Maybe it's because I'm at the end of my journey. The good memories are all that have remained. Today is the culmination of all those days and all those experiences. Graduates, today marks the culmination of years of hard work, growth, and discovery. Whether you walked into our school as a kindergartner, a prep schooler, or recently as an A-level student, you are not the same person who arrived here that first day. You have grown not just in knowledge, but in character. You faced challenges and come through stronger. You've learned the power of perseverance, the importance of kindness, and the value of community. SEIS, in whatever capacity, has been our home, our launchpad, and our safe space. The hallways we once wandered now echo with our laughter, our debates, our questions, and our dreams. Standing here today, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, excitement, and yes, a bit of disbelief. After years of late night study sessions, cuts, projects, debates, and hallway laughter, we finally arrived at this moment, graduation. The moment we've all been working towards. Sometimes dreaming about, sometimes dreading, and now we're here. We always knew this day was coming. At the back of our minds is what we've been working towards. But the realization never hits you right away. But standing here before you all, I fully grasp my situation. Change is inevitable. That's something my father always told me. So today, in addition to celebrating the end of a long journey, we embrace the change each of us is going through, going forward. We spend a good portion of our lives studying, being taught lessons, preparing for an examination or cut that we knew was coming. Life, unfortunately, will not be so considerate. Most likely, you're going to be tested at any moment from any direction. It's sink or swim, and we'll only learn the lesson after the fact. Our perseverance and willingness to endure shall be tested again and again. But through the hardships, school has put us through, the skills we've learned in the classroom and those we learned from our peers around us, we'll make it through. In the spirit of celebration, I give thanks first and foremost to God. It was His will that we stand here today. By His love and mercy, that we overcame every challenge we faced. It was His divine plan that led us all here. All we can hope is that our plans for the future align with His, that His guidance will keep us moving forward. To our parents, guardians, and families, thank you for being our first teachers, our loudest cheerleaders, our quiet strength. You stood behind us, helped us during the hard days, and reminded us of our worth even when we doubted ourselves. This diploma is not just ours, it belongs to you too. To our teachers and school staff, thank you for your tireless work, your wisdom, and your patience. You spent hours crafting lessons that many of us will only fully appreciate years from now. You've challenged us to think deeper, reach higher, and care more. Some of you have inspired us to become future scientists, writers, artists, engineers, or educators ourselves. We'll never forget your impact. To the graduates, the classmates, my friends, this is the last time we'll all be together like this. And that's huge. We've grown side by side. We've celebrated wins and survived losses together. We've made memories in classrooms, on buses, at lunch tables, on athletic fields, and in theater wings. Every smile, every struggle, every inside joke and shared experience has helped shape who we are today. This also goes to our juniors in the back. We love you guys. High school wasn't just a place where we learned about algebra or finance or the periodic table. It's a place where we started to learn about ourselves, what we stand for, and what we believe. Thank you.
The Chair of the Board of Directors, Mrs. Leanne Gini, in absentia, Director Carola Ohaga, and Sean Ohaga, here present, the Executive Headmaster, the respective heads of school, the senior leadership team and management team, the faculty at SCIS, parents, family, invited guests, and graduates. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Gibbons, for your introduction. I must say thank you, seeing as Keenan and Samuel missed that. Thank you, too, to the leadership, pupil leadership team, Jessica, Keenan, and Samuel. Indeed, you have been a cord of three, which clearly was not easily broken. Your reflections this afternoon and your insights are a blessing, as your words have fallen graciously on our ears. Thank you very much for what you have said. We are encouraged. As the pupil leadership team gave their speeches, they intimated on the aspect of time. And Mr. Gibbons mentioned that it is our time to soar. It is on that premise that I beg to begin. But I pause because this past half of the term, our value has been reflection, and as such it calls me to reflect. Of the very past week, I have observed curiously this cohort of graduates. I hope you did not see my eyes peer through you as you served through the Wider Horizon program across the school. That particular moment was a moment for the rest of us to stop and think. something special is happening. Something worthwhile is happening. You have engaged on that program. It is a service-led program that serves to ignite us to a reflective tune. As we paused in bated admiration, awe, and respect, while you served in various departments across the school, alongside staff that have taught you. That is special. It is a reminder of the launching pad to the future, a signal that the time to release is near, and the realization that the world awaits your continuous contribution. We are blessed to watch such moments. Thank you for refreshing us. Thank you to the sixth form mentors. They sit at the back, but they have been on the forefront of this conversation that is the blessing this day. And indeed, thank you to the SCIS community for being the village, so to speak, that has raised this wonderful cohort of graduates. The wise writer says, there is an appointed time for everything and a time for every activity under the heavens. I suppose, like myself, you can hear the sound of celebration and joy at this particular time. Thank you. A moment of celebration. We take pride in your achievements and pause to thank God for the blessing to witness this occasion. We congratulate you on your momentous achievement. It is no small feat. The psalmist says, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Your sensitive awareness to your mandate at SCIS has been exemplified in your commitment and resilience to your academic exploration and the exploits you have always had, always higher in tune with the school motto. Your actions, individually and collectively, speak to the future, immediate and distant. Your urgency to positive engagement has set you apart for a greater impact. Thank you. Thank you, dear graduates, for being steadfast in your respective studies and successfully completing the just concluded international examinations. You upheld the integrity and sanctity of the examinations, a feature that speaks of your character. Thank you for your relentless exploits in the sporting fields. Through your participation in the school's senior teams, home and away, we have enjoyed watching that. Thank you for your ingenious streak of creativity that has mesmerized us through your artistic expression and in the school productions and musical performances. Thank you for your passionate articulation of the emerging issues in your pursuit of excellence through the opportunities accorded by the core and extracurricular program, thus enhancing the pupil voice. Thank you for being conscious of your fitness and well-being as committed members of the school gym and exploring the outdoor programs, Presidential Award to the gold level, and what we have seen as you've showcased in that memorable movie. Thank you for your humble and graceful service in the prefect body, the student council representation, the house system, and in your service through your participation in the various community initiatives. Thank you for your laughter and cheer in the school and beyond during the residential trips, and here you have refreshed us. Memories are made of such moments. Treasure them even beyond SCIS. Dear graduates, celebrate your unique perspectives as shaped by your diverse backgrounds and experiences. As a cohort, you have exemplified tolerance, understanding, and cohesive approaches. These are much desired skills for advocacy and positive action. You are setting off as courageous global citizens. Remember to embrace the values you have learned at SCIS, those of integrity, empathy, respect, among other value-based approaches in the midst of all your interactions as you set to impact the community and the world. Look to serve with purpose and shape a future after God's heart. We eagerly look forward to your impactful contribution. To whom much is given, much is expected. This celebration and triumph signals the end of one phase and the ushering of another. All stakeholders, yourselves, graduates, your parents, family, teachers, the SCIS community, indeed the village, so to speak, has been steadfast in providing that environment to allow you to be the best version of yourself. So, regardless of your next destination, it is critical that the measure of your character is steadfast. You have been ably set up to conquer the next sights. Go boldly, be courageous, trust God. Do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, thus discerning God's will for your life. I know I have been at it for a while, maybe in a bid to hold on, but release you we must, confidently so. We trust you will make the most of the values you have learned at SCIS. Each of you will go on a different and unique path, a path that will be mapped by your gracious footsteps, regardless of the challenges that come your way. Be strong. Be still and know that God is faithful. We look up to the skies, and where does our help come from? Our help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. So, as you trek along, mapping out these delicate footsteps, remember, never measure the height of a mountain until you have reached the top. Then you will look down and see how low it was. Do not relent. Forge ahead. Fear not. As the sights are set beyond SCIS, 40 years later, you will soon be the addition to the SCIS alumni. Come back to SCIS. Stay connected. You're loved here. Your story matters. Your story has always enriched the fabric of our hearts. We love you. The Lord bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kariuki. Right, we're not going to let that go, are we? On Martha's introduction. You would agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, we chose well in the sense of when you talk to these students as leaders, you can see how well they articulate themselves. And they can read the room. And and they can make decisions. And such has been their contribution in how we've grown as a school. The only time, this is the only second last time they're going to be known or introduced as such. And I would like to take this moment just to recognize and we get to appreciate our leaders of the school, starting with the head girl, Jessica Muigai. Just hold on, we're gonna do it properly. Head boy, Kina Naimba, and head of school, Samuel Lupalo. Could I ask them to stand, please? Because the next time they're going to be introduced to us, it's actually we will be bidding them farewell as they hand over the reins to the next cohort of leaders. So a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to these three. Thank you very much. Now, may I call upon Mrs. Duya, please, to come to help out with the handing over of their memorabilia. Please, may I take this opportunity as well to welcome Mr. Gibbons, as well as we get to introduce and award our graduates. Okay, and please take note of that word, graduates, and I'm going to explain it to you shortly what it means. In order of their appearance, the first pupil. She joined us in 2022 she has distinguished herself and as a passionate leader. Okay? She has been part of the student leadership. She has shown, I was quite interested when the first time she said she plays golf. So of course, I was keen to see how she progresses with that. And of course, we wish her the very best of that. As a teacher, I always look for what extra the child does out there. It's interesting to know that she could take her own time out of school, go and support and work within the KSPCA. As she graduates, we celebrate her contribution to the school and we look forward for her to progress in her world. Beyond her achievements in leadership, she has an ambition to be a neonatal nurse. It speaks a deep sense to her care and purpose. Her passion in helping others, combined with her drive and resilience, promises a great future. Ladies and gentlemen, Aliyah Hassan Mohammed. If you were to meet this lady, you would understand what passion means. She's quite particular, focused, versatile, and a deeply committed member of the school and the community. Not only as a student council chair, a vice chair, and as a president of the student council, she's gone over and above beyond in contributions for our community. A fundraising coordinator for Activate Green, a youth-led environmental organization, she spearheaded fundraising efforts as well for her cohort in Key Stage 5. The graduate's dedication extends to a wide array of co-curricular activities, from taking part in hockey and lending her voice in the choir. Her energy is absolutely amazing to be engaged with. She is involved in cookery club, dance club, and she has embraced every opportunity with enthusiasm. She has gone ahead and actually acquired a bronze award in the Presidential Award Scheme. With grace, leadership, and passion for community, the graduate leaves behind a legacy of initiative and impact. One we know will continue well beyond SCIS. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Mutonga. This particular pupil, I've had the pleasure of actually interacting with her as a teacher during her O levels, and let not her meek demeanor actually fool you. She's well-rounded. She's been involved in a lot of school activities. She has served as a deputy head of academics. That's how smart she is. And as a senior head of academics, where her leadership and the dedication to academic support and enrichment have shown. I've been very privileged to see her get out of the classroom as well and be a dependable hockey goalkeeper and great in badminton, cookery club, art club. Her academic achievements are numerous. She was a nominee of the Nairobi Academy Maths Challenge Championship in both 2024 and 2025. Her Excellence